Testing season is right around the corner, and this is when confidence really matters. When kids take time to review key concepts and strengthen their skills before assessments, it can make all the difference. IXL helps reinforce what they're learning right now, so they walk into every test feeling prepared, capable, and confident. IXL is an award-winning online learning platform that helps kids truly understand what they're learning, whether they're building math confidence, strengthening reading and writing skills, or reviewing science concepts. Designed for students from pre-K through 12th grade, IXL delivers personalized, interactive practice that adapts to your child's level and pace. It's an easy, effective way to support learning as the school year heads into its final stretch. Studies show kids who use IXL score higher on tests, proven in all 50 states. IXL is used in 96 of the top 100 school districts in the U.S. Make an impact on your child's learning. Get IXL now. And listeners can get an exclusive 20% off IXL membership when they sign up today at IXLlearning.com/audio. Visit IXLlearning.com/audio to get the most effective learning program out there at the best price.
3-4 hours later, and she demands payment from me in front of the club, like in front of the patrons, in front of the management. You know, she's saying how, you guys come here and your safety is only because you spend a lot of money here, and if it wasn't for that, you'd be taken care of. You need to pay me this money. I'll make a very long story short. She ends up killing her boyfriend upstairs in the very same corridors that I was in.
Welcome to Secrets of a Sugar Daddy. Here's your host, Marcus.
Welcome to another episode of Secrets of a Sugar Daddy, the #1 sugar dating podcast in the world, where we pull back the curtains and show you the good, the bad, and always shocking side of sugar dating. Today, my co-host is again Lilly. How are you?
Good. Hello, listeners.
So, Lilly, she's always got some fun things to tell me every week. But this week's been, well, I don't know. You've had a few crazy things.
Have I?
Yeah.
Such as?
Well, I don't know. You always show me these messages and you just like, oh my God. Like the rude pilot that just reached out to you.
Oh, the pilot who trash talked me and criticized me and then told me he really misses me just recently.
Yeah. You're like, I'm done with this guy. And then how many weeks or months later did he finally reach back out to you?
Like at least a month or two.
Yeah. And he says,
yeah.
Oh my God, I'm so sorry. I deserve that. I really need you in my life.
You're such a special person. I really messed up.
Right? These sugar daddies are crazy. And you know what? Speaking of sugar daddies, I don't have one sugar daddy guest in the studio today. I have 2 sugar daddies. This is a first. And we're going to welcome back Kevin because a few episodes ago, we released your episode and oh my God, dude, you're a riot. We got a lot of comments on it. Welcome back.
Thank you.
We had to have more of Kevin.
But then I'm like, you have to meet my degenerate friend.
So his degenerate friend is Shawn. How you doing, Shawn?
Yeah, it's good to be here.
Now, this is your first podcast.
It is.
Yeah. And how do you know Kevin?
We met, I guess, 9 years ago on the fitness circuit.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we were boxing together. He was my sparring partner.
And are you still into fitness? Because I see Kevin's let it go a little bit.
Whoa!
I'm in the. I'm
that
getting
was out
there.
loud.
So were you guys roommates at one time?
No,
just friends.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's your fantasy. You always ask me if they're roommates, and I always say no.
I'm trying to be his roommate,
why
but he's.
But we were saying the other day, we want a degenerate hand signal, right? Because we have a friend who goes to Brazil all the time, but he's married, and he cannot. We don't know anything about his life, but we know what he's doing down there.
Yeah.
But he can't say it. So if we just have this, make it up, whatever, a particular hand signal, and you go, oh, I was in Brazil last week, and then you go like this, and they're like, yeah, okay, I know what you're talking about. So we had to figure out, I'm a degenerate, and then we had to sort of open the kimono to each one of us, and then once that was open, it's been game on.
All right. Well, let's get a little background on Shawn. How old are you?
49.
49. When are you turning the big 50?
Next year.
Next year. You know, it's not so bad. It really isn't. So here's what I did. So I had a really hard time with 5-0. I'm 54 now, but just 50. My parents were 50 at one time, and I just remember thinking they're done.
Right.
But I'm having more fun at 50 than I've ever had. But so what I did is I went in on my profile and I rolled it back about 3 years. I couldn't take 50.
A lot of men do that.
Yeah. So now I'm used to it, but it won't let me put my real age because it only lets you change it once.
Right.
So I did, ladies, put my real age in my profile. I said, look, I'm really 54 because I know Lilly.
But if you have the double platinum diamond membership, you get 2 rollbacks.
Oh, you get 2 rollbacks.
Yeah.
So if I pay $250 a month, I could. Oh, are you a double platinum diamond? Really? Oh, now I have a lot of questions for you. Now, well, we're going to get into those because I hear the response rate and the quality increases. It's what they claim. Hey, you pay this per month, and you're going to get 20x times the responses. And I know some of the sugar babies, they filter where they only want to see diamond members.
Well, it's hard to know because you don't have no frame of reference.
Yeah.
So unless you could somehow.
But I get so many messages anyway. I'm like, why do I want to upgrade?
Right.
But maybe the quality is better. I don't know. We'll see.
The word diamond is irreplaceable.
Yeah. But going back to the age thing.
It's a girl's best friend, after all.
Oh, yeah. Going back to the age thing, I know that the girls get really annoyed, just like the guys do, when they meet a guy and he's not the age that he put.
Well, yeah, because you think you're meeting and dating someone who's 65, and then you meet them and you're like, whoa, life has been a little rough on you. And then they disclose, oh, I'm really 75. That was a typo.
See, I put 75. So they're like, man, you look good for 75.
Oh, okay.
I go the other way.
And you do. You look really good
All right.
for 75.
I do have pause on Shawn for a second. Kevin, I have a question for
Yeah.
you. And I don't want to forget it. As I was looking at your dog shit profile,
Thank you, Lily.
Welcome.
you have on there that you're only worth $100,000.
Yeah, because I don't want the trolls to come after me. Yeah, the Nigerian scammers are like, fuck that guy.
Yeah. This guy works at McDonald's.
He doesn't have any
I do
money.
the
I'm not
same
going to
thing.
scam him.
So you put a low amount that you make per year. Don't you think that hurts you though when you're trying to respond to girls, or have you not seen an
I don't
issue?
know. I think there's certainly really high caliber girls that are not messaging me.
Either way.
But
Aren't
all
you
the people,
losing
and all
out
the
on
listeners
a
in
few?
Lagos, Nigeria right now are like, fuck that guy. Because, my buddy another guy puts, he makes tons of money and he's
Yeah.
getting scammed all the time. I don't want that hassle.
Well, you got to be somewhat naive to be scammed, and you're not. So, I filter out the scams.
Yeah, it's true.
So why don't you just put?
I want someone to love me for me, not my money.
He said he's a degenerate.
Yeah.
He's looking for quantity over quality.
right.
Yeah, as a man. Yeah.
Are you a diamond member?
No.
No. Okay, so let's go back to Shawn, the diamond member.
What do you put down as your net worth?
The minimum.
Do you put the minimum?
Yeah.
Okay.
Now, people that are, I thought the diamond members had to be verified. Is there any verification?
Well, they verified me with some very loosely put together a scan your
Thank you for
license
the
here.
money.
Yeah. They're not turning away
No.
extra. Yeah.
You don't qualify as a diamond member, so now you can't pay the $250 a month.
They also have a recommended rate too that you can propose for things like PPM and stuff.
What's that?
What is that?
No, I'm joking.
I'm like, really?
Wait a minute.
That's
Okay,
shocking and surprising.
so as a diamond member,
Yeah.
which for our audience, if you go on Seeking, you can, for men, they can sign up for, now we're talking 2022, so for people listening to this in 10 years, it's changed. But right now, I think I have a continuous membership, and I think it's $110 a month or something like that. It used to be $69
Yeah.
when I first signed.
Appropriate.
$69.
Yeah, see what
Yeah.
they did there.
79, 80, yes.
At some
I know
point,
where
the
you're going.
joke wore off, and they're
Yeah.
like, "Look, we need more money."
Yeah, the joke wore off.
Sophomore humor.
But they always try to get you to upgrade to the diamond membership, and they tout all these benefits. So were you just a regular premium member, Shawn, in the beginning?
On my first tour, I was regular.
Your first tour.
Yeah, which was around 2020.
Okay.
And then the second tour, I went all out.
All right. Explain a
splurged.
tour.
Just a cycle through
Okay.
in country kind
Yeah.
of thing where you just prepare you gear up and you get ready for battle.
Right. You know what? It's funny you say that because in the beginning, I would sign up for a month and it's like, let the shit show begin. And I would have a number of prospects I'd weed through, and I usually found somebody pretty quick, and I'd get into an arrangement with them. You know, as most arrangements end, then you sign up again. I'm like, okay, and I'd punch the button. I'm like, let the shit show begin.
Here we go. Game on.
I signed up for the maximum because I need to take my time. I don't want to feel like there's a timer going.
One other thing, though, with him is
Value.
the constant conversation we have is, but what could have been? Right? So for me, on my mediocre account, he's like, there's got to be some other. There's always a door beyond the door, right? I'm like, this door is good enough. He's like, but what could be behind the other door?
Like a speakeasy, right?
But then on the flip side, if he pays for the extra door beyond the door beyond the door, and he's finding things, then I'm like, fuck, there's things behind the door. But I don't think there's anything behind the door.
He has FOMO like me.
Yeah, the fear of missing out. Okay, so on your first tour, you did the regular membership, and
I did.
I'm assuming you found an arrangement or two
I
or four.
I was coming off the tail end of the reality of a divorce. I was looking at COVID, lockdown, staring it in the face, and
Oh, wow.
Essentially, I thought, okay, well, this is what's going to be my future. So I wanted to recreate as best I could the chemistry or the intimacy that I would be normally lacking. And I thought the best way from point A to point F would be through a site like SA.
Now, was it Kevin that persuaded you to go that
Well,
direction?
he was an inspiration, to be sure.
To
everyone.
If you can see Kevin's face over here, he's about to fall out of his chair.
I've corrupted so many people.
And he's an excellent mentor. You have to chart your own course, ultimately, but he was instrumental in my transition.
Okay, so just a little background on it. How long were you married?
The second time, I was married briefly for a couple of years.
And then you were married previously for how long?
7.
Okay, so those two marriages failed. What was the reason she told you it failed?
Her current reason.
What were you doing wrong?
Well, throw something anywhere.
Yes.
But it was, the first one was such a long time ago that it was, because there was about 7 years between. So it was almost like I was a different,
Okay,
I don't kind of remember who I was then. But certainly this time around, it was predictable, your standard failure.
Yeah.
Right?
Okay, so your second marriage fails
Yeah.
or ends,
Ends.
as relationships do.
Right.
What was your next move? Were you thinking immediately get onto
Yes.
a sugar dating site? Really?
Well, because I was maybe desperate's the wrong word, but I was craving chemistry, and I was craving intimacy and familiarity. And the traditional way of going about that took too long. So how do you...
It's a process.
It's a process. So I wanted to compress all that time, just get out the white noise and just go immediately to 10.
Okay.
I want to accelerate through the nonsense.
And then at what point did you have the rude awakening?
Well, actually, that first tour, it was difficult because I was very combative. You know, I was very confrontational. And so I was approaching it the way, I know you don't like this term, but the way you might do it in the civilian world. And so in the civilian,
you do listen to our podcast.
I do. But I also use the term.
Well, hey, we'll use it if that's the appropriate word.
It's the easiest
It's the
way to
easiest way,
yeah.
explain it, really.
We can use it.
I thought that in a civilian world, you would debate your point, you would support your argument, you had a need to be right about something or other, or have the moral high ground. And I was using that ridiculously with people who were just like, wait, why are you wasting time like this? Is it that important for you to be right? You know, and I guess it was at the time. And so that first tour was a bit challenging.
So tell me a little bit about how the first tour went. Were you just going through kind of like a menu, like I like this one, messaging
Oh
them?
yeah, I was going into deep tracks, liner notes. I was doing
Poetry
Bob
at
Dylan,
night.
Bob Dylan, 1976.
You're trying to find love.
Yeah.
I'm seeking,
Haikus.
which you
Yeah.
can.
Looking
There's
for
plenty
love
of
in
people.
all the wrong places. I've done it too.
It's terrible.
No, lots of my friends have gotten married off of the site. There is love to be had. So that's kind of your goal in the beginning.
It
Maybe
was
still.
but it was just misguided. It was just I was using civilian terminology or civilian manners, but when it wasn't required. So I wasted a lot of time, and I ended up with a very poor vetting process.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you what helped me tremendously is are you familiar with Corey Wayne? He's a relationship therapist on YouTube. Basically caters towards men. He wrote a book called 3% Man. And you can get to that point, but he tells you what all the 97% of the men are doing to fuck that up to get to that point. So I highly recommend everybody, even women, but especially the men, read that, because even if you are looking for love and you're looking for that everything that you were looking for, there's a process of getting to it without scaring the women off.
Right.
And I was in your same boat. Like, I'd come out of a marriage, I'm still thinking I can find my princess on a white horse and we're going to fall in love and live happily ever after. And I did a lot of the same shit.
Yeah.
And I overdid it. I scared a lot of them off.
Yeah, I found that if I met them, it was different. But the vetting process, the getting from, hey, how are you? Happy hump day, to give me your cell phone number and let's
Our favorite day.
meet for a coffee. Actually, with COVID, it helped because I could just say, hey, just come on over. I'll make you some coffee.
You know, COVID was a great time for me. I had a 2.5-year arrangement relationship, and it ended the day before the state shut down. And somehow she ended up having a guy that she moved in to help her through COVID. I didn't have anybody. So I get back on the site, and it was like, I don't have to think of these great dates to take people on. I don't have to impress them. It's like, your place or mine? I mean, there really was no other choice. It was kind of nice.
You know, I wasn't really looking for romance in that regard. I was looking for a intensity, like not. I didn't necessarily date or go out and go vacation. I wanted to just feel the presence of somebody else, and just feel like real intimacy. I did find it, just kind of took a little longer to find.
Okay.
You're listening to Secrets of a Sugar Daddy.
Testing season is right around the corner, and this is when confidence really matters. When kids take time to review key concepts and strengthen their skills before assessments, it can make all the difference. IXL helps reinforce what they're learning right now, so they walk into every test feeling prepared, capable, and confident. IXL is an award-winning online learning platform that helps kids truly understand what they're learning, whether they're building math confidence, strengthening reading and writing skills, or reviewing science concepts. Designed for students from pre-K through 12th grade, IXL delivers personalized, interactive practice that adapts to your child's level and pace. It's an easy, effective way to support learning as the school year heads into its final stretch. Studies show kids who use IXL score higher on tests, proven in all 50 states. IXL is used in 96 of the top 100 school districts in the U.S. Make an impact on your child's learning. Get IXL now. And listeners can get an exclusive 20% off IXL membership when they sign up today at IXLlearning.com/audio. Visit IXLlearning.com/audio to get the most effective learning program out there at the best price.
Now back to the show with your host, Marcus.
So, were you in a single arrangement or a multiple?
I
Or?
would say irregular, repeating.
Okay.
Okay.
And then how long did that last?
Oh, it's hard to know in that time. I would say in a year there was for lack of a better term, a rotation. Let's say, right?
All right.
Where we would see each other, we'd get a feel of each other, and then move on.
Okay.
Okay, flash forward to now. How do you vet people now?
Just very unapologetically direct.
Okay.
Even at the time before, it would make me feel guilty, but now it's just,
Yeah.
Can you give us an example?
like I'll read the profile, mention something subtle, indicating that I've read the profile, and say, hey,
There you go.
here's my number. If you're interested, stay in my orbit. Give me a call.
Stay in my orbit.
Send me a text message.
Yeah.
And I'm batting 1,000 on that.
You get a good response
Yep.
rate. Yeah.
Because I'm not looking. I'm just feelers out there.
Right.
It doesn't have to be a whole conversation. It doesn't have to be an exchange of thought, political values, and this.
Yeah.
And that.
If I may, I think there's a few. So there's like little gates, like logic gates, right? So where you were stuck in the beginning is you were in the conversation logic gate. That's a free thing. And they're like, look, I have a million conversations going on, But if you go right to the money and here's what I'm after, you drop into another place where like, I'm willing to talk to you because we got that out of the way.
That's a great point because at the time, after I've met a lot of these ladies, I found that their perspective helped me mold this perspective now, which is, look, they have time. And as you mentioned in a previous podcast, that the time killers are the thing that drives people crazy.
Right.
So I just found that hearing their side of the story helped me just form a method now.
Mm-hmm.
It's time diggers.
Time diggers. Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Actually, Kevin introduced that to us in our show.
The worst. They're the worst.
Yeah, the time diggers are the worst. All right, so are you currently in an arrangement?
No, I am very close though.
You're back in the game.
No, I am back in the game. I'm just the quarterfinal.
Oh, so you've got somebody you're working into that.
Well, there's excellent candidates.
All right, so back to you being a diamond. Are you finding that you're getting a lot of messages, like the girls are messaging you first?
Yes.
Yeah, so do you go through all the profiles and message ones that
Yes.
catch your interest also?
In fact, I almost haven't reached out first.
Mm-hmm.
In the last little while, it's always been, I'll be more passive. I'm not really searching so much as responding.
So what are the quality of women messaging you? Are they all over the board and you just kind of choose who you want to respond to?
Yeah, they're all over the board, from 20 to 50, from here to Venezuela.
I get a lot of those too.
Yeah.
Like tons of people from out of the country.
Do you get any from Mexico, specifically Tijuana?
No.
But,
I would take those up.
yeah.
Yeah.
Venezuela's the big one.
Venezuela. Yeah.
And
I just get tons
I
from
always respond as well.
you do.
Yeah, I want to help them.
Yeah, meanwhile, he had a story. He's like, man, I really thought this girl was great. She's in Venezuela, and I sent her some money. I'm like, I don't think there's mechanism
Wait,
to send
did
money
you
to
do
Venezuela.
that?
I did. She was so sweet. I spoke to her regularly on the phone. She never.
You're being serious.
Being serious. She was lovely. She spoke English incredibly well. And this was just, and also in the middle of COVID, actually. She needed capital for some T-shirts that she was putting together.
So they are finding suckers on the site.
I got the T-shirt.
You got one?
I did.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, good for you.
It took
I'm glad you were able to help
17
somebody
weeks
out.
to
But in my mind, there's
Can I
like
ask how much
financial.
that T-shirt cost?
It was $250.
Oh, that's
Listen.
that could be. That's 1 month subscription.
Was it
No big deal.
100% cotton?
It was terrible. I gave it to my son, and it fit him just about right. So I was
my
like,
God.
"What kind of size? Like, what is the size ratio there?"
Dad, where'd you
no.
get this shirt?
So on our last episode, we talked to Kevin about some fun trips down to Tijuana. You ever been?
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
It's fantastic. It's a must. If there was an Anthony Bourdain special on this sort of thing, it would be top 3 destinations. Yeah.
Yeah, our friend Kimmy is probably
She's
on
in
her
Tijuana.
way en
She's in-
route
yeah,
to
she's
Tijuana
in-
right now.
Well, no, we actually saw her story on Instagram. She's crossing the border.
Yeah.
Like actually an hour ago. Now, of course, this episode is aired many weeks after, so we'll have to give you an update.
You're listening to Secrets of a Sugar Daddy.
Hey, all you sugar daddies, I want you to talk with my new friend, Maria Scaptura. Now, she is a PhD student at Virginia Tech, and she's doing some research on the sugar dating experience. And she needs to interview some sugar daddies, so help us out. We want to hear about your experiences in the bowl and your pathways into it. Now, these interviews are completely anonymous, unrecorded, and any information divulged is fully confidential. So go to our website, secretsofasugardaddy.com, and press on the ad, or you can email her at scaptura@vt.edu, and that's spelled SCAPTURA@VT, stands for Virginia Tech.edu. So help us out. Look forward to talking to you.
You're listening to Secrets of a Sugar Daddy. Have a comment or want to be on the show? Okay. Find us at secretsofasugardaddy.com. Now back to the show with your host, Marcus.
Yeah, there's few experiences as seminal as the moment as a man you walk through the velvet ropes or the velvet curtain of Hong Kong.
Yeah, I was the degenerate who was like, I have something I need you to see.
Yeah, Kevin mentioned that in
It
his
can't be
episode.
understated because I think as a man of a certain demographic, our age, let's say, you will have never seen something like that. So
Okay.
it's
On his scoreboard is a Cirque du Soleil performer, right? A Miss second place Miss Universe or something.
Yeah.
It's like the bronze medal or silver medal winners of everything down there. Like it's crazy.
Yeah.
But he didn't believe it. So the moment we opened that, because when you walk in, you pay admission, then you
Frisked.
You sort of you buy an obligatory beer from the guy at front, right? And
right.
then they pull back this large velvet curtain.
Yeah.
And I'd seen it 100 times anyway. So I turned it, and his eyes they were like two moon saucers. Like you couldn't believe it if that was true. And
Okay, so what's your best Tijuana story?
Well,
We hear rumors there is a best.
there is a best. You're talking about the murder?
oh wait, a murder? Yeah. What
Yeah,
happened
well,
with the murder?
let's go ahead and go there.
There was a lady I grew very fond of.
Meaning you fell in love with her.
I did. She was stunning. We would go there, and I'd spend a lot of time with her. I would go there by myself, and that's how you know you've crossed a line.
So you would go down to Tijuana to see.
I would drive down to Tijuana.
Yes. Wow.
and
Okay.
park and cross and do all the prep work necessary to be ready in Tijuana. And I would see her regularly and bring her gifts.
Yeah.
That's the other dark line that you don't want to cross. But it's funny too, because I got her a gift, a book actually had like some subtext about sex work. And she found it like grossly offensive.
I wonder why.
I just thought it would connect with her in some way. Anyway, so one evening we retired to the chambers above. She just falls asleep for the night until she wakes up 3-4 hours later, and she demands payment from me in front of the club, like in front of the patrons, in front of the management. You know, she's saying how, you guys come here and your safety is only because you spend a lot of money here, and if it wasn't for that, you'd be taken care of. You need to pay me this money. I'll make a very long story short. She ends up killing her boyfriend upstairs in the very same corridors that I was in.
And how did you find this information?
One of the meseros, after us when we were there frequently, gave us a small hint, and then I think we Googled it or something. And
Yeah, he showed us a news clip of the murder. Yeah.
And she got away with it scot-free?
no, I think
We
she's
don't
in
know.
jail. Yeah.
So this had happened fairly recently?
In the same period of time that I had been so livid that she had made a scene. And again, I don't know. I don't remember why she'd fallen asleep, or if it was the book that put her to sleep,
It was probably the book.
But it was very surreal. Very surreal.
But you were one visit away from it being you. It could have been you.
It could have been me.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, she could have fallen asleep with this guy, and he took matters into his own hands.
Wow.
Yeah.
So you've not been back since.
No, I've been back.
Oh, that didn't stop you.
By the way, the
Those are
Mesero, just for anyone listening, the Mesero you got to get connected with. He's your server at your section, right? It's where you sit.
Right.
But he knows everything about that bar. He knows who's a dud, who's a great. Yeah. And then, so you tip those Meseros heavy. But like Shawn was saying, if we're not troublesome people, but if it came to trouble, they're like, look, what's different about there than America is if you're a good customer there, they're not going to throw you out, right? Like there's strip clubs in the U.S. You spend a lot of money and the bouncer just throws you out.
Yeah.
Like they don't care about that because the girl said you did something. But in Mexico, they're like, shut the fuck up. This guy's a good customer.
There is a code. So every time we would order a drink, the drinks add up very quick there. Before you know it, you're 3/4 of a bottle of tequila down. So every time we'd order a round, we'd order him a round. And so every time we came, it was, the three amigos. Right?
Yeah.
You're listening to Secrets of a Sugar Daddy.
How would you describe yourself? Fun? Sporty? Bold? If that's the case, meet the Kia K4 hatchback. Made for motion, adventure, and whatever you might decide to bring along. Or would you say you're more smooth, sleek, refined? If so, there's the Kia K4 sedan. Calm, confident, and ever so modern. 2 personalities, 2 available turbocharged ways forward. The Kia K4 GT Line Turbo and the K4 Hatchback GT Line Turbo. What turbo's you? Turbo is available on select K4 trims.
Now back to the show with your host, Marcus.
There's another good story about another lady who is a massive, I don't know if you can say this, but she liked weed a lot.
You can say that.
Yeah,
In the podcast universe, anything goes.
So I met with her also and smoked some of her weed, and it was completely cosmic. Like I went to a different time and place, and when I got
So it's
back,
probably traced with LSD and other items.
When I got back downstairs, I couldn't stop laughing. The memorable part about that was that normally the way the women make a lot of money there, not a lot, but sustain their income there is to offer drinks to the customers. They have an obligation of drinks to sell. And by the time we were down there, she was buying drinks, not us. It was one of those strange, surreal moments.
You can have those weird moments there where like when I went up to the room with a girl, but I came back when he was now back at the booth with this girl in his cosmic weed state. And I was like, hey guys, how's it going? And they were just catatonic. I'm like, did you guys smoke weed or something? He's like, we can't even speak. But you build these connections. I think it's the same as, seeking, right? Like they're humans. We're human to human. We have,
we would go on subsequent trips, and we would connect also. It was like it's on-demand chemistry, which is I still look for, is the ability to continue where you last left off. Which guys, as friends, we do that as guys. You cannot see a very good friend of yours for years, and then the day you see him, you go right into the same rhythm. I think with ladies on the site, SA especially, I'm looking for that, to be able to say, okay, maybe we haven't seen each other, but the minute we do, it's exactly how we last remember it.
Yeah. It's a lot like, have you ever been to a class reunion and you see them as they were and you fall right back into that. And I used to be a professional photographer, and we would take pictures of class reunions. And even in my 20s, we would do a 40-year or 50-year class reunion, and to me, those were really old people. It was like herding cats. They were like children, and they just fall right back into the familiarity and their fun personalities and goosing each other and just having such a good time.
Once you do that, when you're able to have that on-demand chemistry, and especially with women on the site, I find that they have an ability to do that as well, more so than in the civilian world. It's like a little bit, an analogy I was thinking of was like in poker, when you're playing 10-20 no limit at the win, right?
I just did that, actually.
how do you go back to the Riverside in Laughlin and play 3-6 limit?
Yeah.
You can't. You go back there, it's almost like you become very agitated. You can't really, it's not your world anymore. So it's a challenge to have one foot in both, but I find that both my feet are now navigating towards. So.
Yeah, we talk about that all the time, and I'm sure you've heard it since you've been listening to the podcast. Can you ever go back to just the swiping apps or the regular dating? It's very difficult because I've become so comfortable here.
Yeah, I'm the same.
And it's so easy for me. We're still dating and we're still going through this process, but I'm actually getting responses from them. And I'm actually, when I message them, they message me back. Whereas on the other apps, it's so difficult.
Right.
Super difficult. So the conversation Shawn and I were having last night is, there's obviously a male perspective on things, right? Which is a casualness. And like we were saying, you could be friends for a long time, not see each other for a year, and then you reconnect and you go right back to it. Mm-hmm. And question was, do the girls on here sort of exhibit those quote unquote male things where they're not?
Well, women are the same way. You run into an old girlfriend. I just recently had a college reunion, and I got together with my high school girlfriends who I hadn't seen in decades, and it was like yesterday.
Okay, but I mean in terms of a male to female relationship.
Oh.
Like if we hang out with a girl and then you don't see each other and then you do reconnect, you're like, that's great, let's just get right down to it. That happens a lot in SA, but in the civilian, quote, traditional world, they're like, you didn't call me for 2 weeks.
Right.
But these girls don't want you to be, they don't want to be texting back and forth all day long. Here, I had a panini for lunch. They don't care. So you just set a date. What are you doing Tuesday? Tuesday, Let's hang out. And then you don't talk and they show up on Tuesday. It's perfect.
Yeah.
But in the other world, it's like, I haven't heard from you
where have you been?
4 days.
Now, the big question is, for us that are still hoping to find love, can you do that with this kind of
platform?
Yeah, with this kind of platform where it's so easy, and it's exactly what you said, Kevin, and that's why I enjoy it. Hey, there's a concert on Friday. Let's go out. We have fun. We do our thing. She goes her way. I go mine. Yeah. We'll see you when we see you.
Well, the backbone of all this in our conversation was that there's a bargain to be made, which is I want to just see you casually, but like if you took other guys that I know that are married and miserable, they're like, I just want a warm meal at 6 p.m. Right? But they choose to live their lives in misery so they could get this meal at 6. Right? But I can get my own meal at 6.
Right.
But they've chosen, I don't know, this weird other route. I've never understood why you'd spend most of your life miserable.
Yeah, just skip to the good parts, right? Like Mr. Skin, you know, they have the website.
Mr. Skin, yeah. Here,
They do only the...
At 12.07
Right.
and 12:10, you will see Jennifer Aniston's boobs.
Yeah,
It's
that's
literally the
right.
same thing where it's hey, let's just do nothing but the hits. Let's just play the good songs. And
Right.
when you want to go to Costco and find out how much the paper towels are, just do that on your own. You know.
Yeah, I feel like they ask you to make a choice. And my answer is, why do I have to choose? I just want both, right? Now there are moments. The one moment is like Christmas Day, and there's like one gift that you put under the tree for yourself, and you're like,
Thanksgiving.
yeah, that sucks. That's a shitty vision. But then the 26th, you're like, oh, I'm out by the pool, and it's a great vision. So there's like, we have these conversations all the time, but mine is, I go, look, if I'm doing the formula, I say, if I went on Tinder or Bumble and I found somebody, they're going to want a relationship. And then I have to say, well, do I just want to do whatever I want to do whenever I want to do it? And that the answer is yes. Well, that's not compatible with most humans. They're like, wait, you're just going to go off to Thailand or Costa Rica, whatever? It's like, well, I just want to do that. So I exclude myself from that world. Then I live in this world, which is much more fun, but you do miss that sort of deeper connection. But then my question is, when you have that connection after 2 days, you're
Then
like,
what?
I don't want to go back to Costa Rica.
Yeah.
I don't know if there's an answer. Yeah.
Yeah, I know that I used to fight and just scratch for every time I wanted to go play golf with my buddies.
Yeah.
And she would throw a fit. And then I got to where I was lying to her. And I'm like, I know I'm lying to her, but now I'm taking this chance. If I don't get caught, then I get to play golf. If she catches me, well, then I got to explain it away. But at least I got to play. And so many times she would catch me, and she's like, why didn't you tell me? I'm like, because if I told you, I wouldn't have got to do that.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, I have a friend.
And I don't want to lie to you, but it's just going to be a big fight. So I'm gambling that I'm not going to have the fight.
Yeah.
But I lost on this occasion.
So I have these friends. We all went to Dubai on this trip, and one of my friends told his wife on the way to the airport, "Can you drive me to the airport? I'm going to Dubai for 2 weeks with all my buddies." And when he got there, we're like, "This is insane. Why would you do that?" Everyone asked why he did it, and I know why he did it, because if he told her 3 weeks ago he's going on this trip to Dubai, it would be a 3-week barrage of guilt, and so he just waits to the last second, and then off he goes. But I don't think that's a way to live. That doesn't.
Wow,
There's nothing
wives
pure
are
about that.
terrible.
Well,
If you let them be.
yeah. The problem is most of us get ourselves in that situation, and it's really tough because, again, a buddy of mine called me up and he goes, "Hey, Dan Bilzerian and Steve Aoki are throwing a party in the Hollywood Hills." And I said, "What time am I coming?" And he told me that. I said, "All right." I never told my wife until like a couple days before, and I said, "Hey, Saturday I'm gonna be gone to California with my buddies, and we're going to this party." She didn't say a word. It was like the next day or something like that, right? What's she gonna do?
That's all you can do. But I don't know. I think to myself, you have one life potentially, and like I look at my married friends who all come to town, as I mentioned on one podcast, and they're like, "Let's go get laid."
Yeah.
I was like, well, you guys, the married guys, want to get laid,
But I would have rather had a relationship strong enough
right?
where I could tell her and talk to her about that. And I actually envy a lot of my friends who are married, and I'll be playing golf with them and we talk about this, and they'll say, "Hey, you want to play golf on Saturday?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I don't have to ask anybody, so yeah, let's do it." And he goes, "Yeah, my wife says she's happy when I get out of the house. She's like, yeah, go play golf with your friends. I don't want you here."
It's funny.
I like the house by myself.
Accurate. Women like their me time as
Yeah.
much as men do.
Yeah.
It's good that we have a woman here to help us through this.
Yeah.
Oh,
What's your thoughts on all this?
I don't know that I'm being helpful.
No, what are your thoughts on this?
Well,
I feel like I'm
you've been married 3 times.
drowning in testosterone in this room right now.
So, do you not relate to any of these things that we?
No, I totally do. I
Yeah.
do. I agree with whoever's wife was like, "Yes, please go do something so I can do."
That would be you.
So I can do me.
Yeah.
But not all the time. Certainly not on the holidays, like you mentioned.
The holidays are the one time that you're like, what am I doing?
Yeah.
And then that disappears real quick.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
All right. So back to Shawn. I still have a lot more questions for you. All right. So as a Diamond member, well, now you got me thinking about maybe I should sign up. I don't know. Right? Do you recommend that? Versus, you've seen both sides.
Again, I don't know, because I think now, especially, I think the site is different in that there's a lot more volume. in general.
Have you noticed that too, Kevin?
Yeah, this is the heyday.
I don't know if it's because of maybe there's more opportunity to do things. Travel is now back.
Have you traveled with a sugar baby?
I have.
How did that go?
It went so-so.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did something impromptu. I went to Texas, and I invited her to come with me while I was on business.
Well, how long did you know her prior to that?
Funny enough, I knew her in a civilian world. She was actually in the poker world.
Really?
Yeah, and then I found her on SA. And
She Asian?
She is not Asian, but she is a minority, you could say. You would probably know her.
Yeah, me being a poker player and having found poker players on the site and talked to a few.
Yeah.
I would be. We'll talk after the show.
Yeah, I'd like to add one thing to
Yeah.
the Mormon community.
Oh my goodness.
Has created
Oh, yeah.
at least 50% of the girls I talk to are Mormon.
Oh, it's unbelievable.
The guys too.
Yeah, we've
And
had.
And they are sex starved.
Yeah,
Yeah, there's
they're
been
not
some sort of
getting
liberation movement in Utah.
whatever they plan for in that religion. They're not getting what they hope for because
I-
it's going nuts.
I would almost say that 30 to 40% of our guests are Mormons or ex-Mormons.
Yeah, that's wild.
And Lilly, Lilly has some stories, and she's like, "These Mormon guys are easy."
Yeah.
Mormon crusher, is that what you are?
They're just a shoo-in for, like, they're starved for attention and affection and intimacy, and yeah, they're just ready to meet and greet, and then can we go somewhere close by?
So you brought that up, Kevin. What has been your experience?
Well, no, I just feel like and eventually you start to get into these dialogues of, who are you and what do you do? And it's like another Mormon. And I think to myself, man, I don't think they planned for this. They were like, we need to be virtuous and we need to no sex till marriage and no stimulants.
But we did a demographic study last night on Google to see what is the population exactly.
Yeah, we did.
Well,
Yeah.
and in fairness, I mean, we are in a very heavily populated area,
true.
so we wouldn't be having this discussion if we were in Michigan or.
True. Now I'm gonna have to go change
somewhere.
my profile to get that. that is a good point. Yeah, but there's something in there where I think, man, the odds are because yesterday we went through the numbers. We're like, okay, what is the Mormon population in America? What is the total population in America?
Yeah.
What are the odds of being a Mormon? And it's like,
We are just south of Utah, and
Yeah, true.
And then Mesa was founded by the Mormons, which is now, probably close to 600,000 people, one of the largest cities in the U.S.
We should have called you.
Yeah, right. You're like our Google.
Yeah.
Thing is that Shawn has been working on. We have incessant conversations about this stuff. So one is an amount, let's say a ppm amount, and I think there should be a formula, but I'm not smart enough to make the formula.
I've got it.
But he's come up with a
Let's
formula.
hear this.
All right, the sugar dating world wants to know, Shawn, what is the formula for paper meat?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's the square root of your age divided by your weight times pi minus
Wait a minute.
minus the distance in miles you are from California.
You had me at the square root, and then I got lost.
So if you do that, you'll know what
So
the right amount is.
a 25-year-old woman who weighs 120 pounds,
Okay.
who lives in California, her number is 8.
800? Okay. And somebody that lives in New Jersey?
That's far.
That's far from
close to-
California.
It's water. It's actually ocean, not California. So the closer you're to an ocean,
Oh, the closer to the ocean.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
So
if you say-
more towards the Midwest.
So this is why men in Arizona are cheapskates.
Yeah. Well, if we could just come to a formula
If we
that
got-
we all agree
right.
on. You say, what is your weight? What's your age? How far are you from California? And then you go, okay.
No, there was pie in there
a
somewhere.
pie,
Times
yeah,
pi, yeah.
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 so that you at home can't do the calculations.
So, it's no secret that we're recording out of Scottsdale, Arizona, and we had this discussion at lunch with Kevin that the selection here is far superior than other places. Now, Shawn, have you sugar dated anywhere else but here?
Yeah, I go to St. Kitts and I say, my name is Marcus.
St. Kitts.
And, I have a podcast and I crush it.
Do they ask
Very
for
good.
autographs?
And you should. It's amazing.
I'm
You are
telling
a
you.
hero.
I'm
big
glad. I
statue
am
for the
so
Parliament
happy
there.
Shawn
so
is
funny.
quoting us
Yeah.
from our previous podcast. So anyway, have you always just been here?
I tried it in Costa Rica.
You did. And what was...
It's difficult. Language barrier for me it was difficult to conquer that, plus the cultural differences, plus there's a lot of negotiating going on.
Is
You don't
there?
even realize you're in a negotiation.
But you'll have alternative routes to.
That's a different, right?
Yeah.
So your tolerance You might try a little bit, like 5%, and the minute you run into friction, you bail because you have other avenues.
There's a place down there called Cocow Town Village.
It's in Hako.
Hako, yeah. You can rent a condo that overlooks the beach, but it also overlooks the bar where all the girls hang out at. So if you have like a camera that you brought for tourism, you can just zoom in and look at what's going on down there, and then you're like, I think it's time to go down. You go down, you mingle, walk around. You could go back with a girl or not go back with a girl, and it's just
it's a casino.
So the thought of talking on SA,
so you're like, I don't want to do this anymore. So there's no real pressure for you to go through the grinder the way you might hear.
All right.
You're listening to Secrets of a Sugar Daddy.
Testing season is right around the corner, and this is when confidence really matters. When kids take time to review key concepts and strengthen their skills before assessments, it can make all the difference. IXL helps reinforce what they're learning right now, so they walk into every test feeling prepared, capable, and confident. IXL is an award-winning online learning platform that helps kids truly understand what they're learning. Whether they're building math confidence, strengthening reading and writing skills, or reviewing science concepts. Designed for students from pre-K through 12th grade, IXL delivers personalized, interactive practice that adapts to your child's level and pace. It's an easy, effective way to support learning as the school year heads into its final stretch. Studies show kids who use IXL score higher on tests, proven in all 50 states. IXL is used in 96 of the top 100 school districts in the U.S. Make an impact on your child's learning. Get IXL now. And listeners can get an exclusive 20% off IXL membership when they sign up today at IXLlearning.com/audio. Visit IXLlearning.com/audio to get the most effective learning program out there at the best price.
Now back to the show with your host, Marcus.
Okay, well, so let's swing it back to our locale and the many shiny objects that appear. I have some interest that are brewing for me personally, but I get messages, and then every now and then I'll just do a search for podcast research. And there are so many shiny objects, just so many beautiful women who have great profiles and a lot to offer. How do you navigate all that being a diamond member? Because I know, I guess, higher quality women will only search out diamond members.
I think that's probably a strength. Maybe I can look at a profile. I don't need that much necessarily. I just have a sense. If you have a sense, been doing it long enough where you can kind of be, all right, well, I have red flags and I don't see them, and I see the way that profile's constructed, or I see the way the pictures are presented, how many are presented. Is it overly vulgar? Is it just enough? Is it elegant? You know what I mean? There's a lot of things that I can pick up on that I think...
what gets your attention? What are things that you like?
A thought-out profile. If it's thought out, it means that they will look at my profile and see something more than just 2 pictures and a couple of paragraphs. So someone who's got some depth. Pictures that they select, is it just them in some random bathroom at the W because they look good that day?
That's the one I like.
You know?
Yeah.
So Kevin told us a funny story that you would like even dissect, like look at her hands. You can tell she's overweight by her hands or something like that.
Oh, no, I had to run them by him.
The hands is a big one, right?
Yeah, he's honed in on those hands. If I say, she says 33, he's like, no, she's 47.
Oh, you can tell
he can
age.
The neck and the hands are the...
The neck and the hands?
Are the windows to a woman's soul.
Right.
But the question I think,
I'm hitting my hands under the table.
leading into what you're saying is you could meet a girl and think, okay, this is great. We're going to go long-term relationship. And then after some amount of time, you're like, there's so many.
Right.
Why would you lock yourself down?
But this is a good thing, is that the site offers you an opportunity to be your best always and to maintain your best, even as a man, because we both have a reason to be nice to each other. Always, right? Because you have a choice and I have a choice. So there's this constant outside pressure that says, let's be conscious of this. Let's not take anything for granted, because tomorrow you can find somebody else and I can find somebody else. So we're together because we want to be together. Yes, there's the subtext of the financial component, but there's also even a bigger reason why you would want to make sure that, you stay composed.
Okay. Well, as we're winding down, I do want to touch on, how do you discuss arrangement terms with people? That's always the most difficult thing.
I got this from the master, and so I just sort of riffed on it a little bit. I And it's truthful. I find that seldom that the arrangement intersects well with expectations. It almost never does. And so usually somebody's disappointed. So I start with saying, I'm in a PPM phase right now, which is true. And I propose that we do this weekly and we see where we go after a few sessions.
Okay.
I'd also advise to take that offline. I had to take a test the other day about whether I knew what prostitution was or not. My account pulled up and it goes, hey, you've been flagged. Take this little video, and it showed me a video. And then it gave me a quiz. Which one of these things, whatever.
Wait a minute.
Yeah.
Seeking
Yeah.
flagged your account and they sent you a quiz?
Yeah, the moment I logged in, it gave me a quiz. But I take all the conversations offline. I say, well, if you want to discuss PPM and all that, let's get offline.
Yeah, I don't mention numbers or anything like that. I just say if PPM or if short-term PPM for now is not something you're into, it's good. No problem. Don't call me or I won't call you. And best of luck. But if it does, here's my number. And let's see where we go.
So you prefer PPM in the beginning. And then do you like to keep it that way, or do you ever move to a weekly or monthly allowance?
It depends.
It's all
it's
unique.
Yeah. There's a million variables. There was a lady.
There's so many variables.
There was a lady that showed up to my apartment, and it was not the lady from the pictures.
And wait a minute.
Remember?
Why did you have her come to your apartment?
Well, it was.
Was this COVID?
I was.
Please tell me it was COVID.
It was COVID. And
Okay.
Which one was this?
This was the lady from Seattle. Remember?
Oh, yeah. Right.
I first I thought, well, I can't be rude. I didn't want to be rude about it and say, well, I don't recognize you or insult you. I was almost bringing in my civilian sensibilities because I thought, I don't want to insult this woman. So I said, no, come on in. You look great. And then as I'm looking at her, I'm like, this is definitely not her. It's definitely not her. And then finally we got close enough where we're like, by the way, she got me on a bottle of tequila also. And I signed an arrangement with her that day, day drinking, signed an arrangement. And then finally she fessed up to it and said that, no, this is my friend. And we just decide who is more likely to jive with him. And so,
oh my goodness!
You said signed an arrangement?
I know, I heard that
not
too.
signed.
I mean, signed.
Signed up
negotiated.
for it. Negotiated. Okay.
But so I'm working on new approaches for all this. Like, for example, if I'm in this situation and the girl shows up and it's not her, I'm fine. And then when it comes time, let's say it's X number of dollars, I give you X number of pesos. And you'd say, oh, I thought this was dollars. And I'd say, oh, no, you see, I changed. I have these conversations all the time. They say, do you want to buy my pictures? And I go, I'd love to buy your pictures. I'd love to. Great. And then they say, well, they're $100 for pictures. And then I send a picture of $100. And then they go, what the fuck am I going to do with a $100 picture? I said, you're going to go to the mall and fantasize about all the things you can buy. Like, it's so dumb. We're trying to be in this mode of positivity.
Right.
Just let them drift off. The hustler.
Since I got rid of that whole idea, my outcome is so much better. Like, it's really feel good, project well, and you get really good. It's positive thinking, which is ridiculous. I don't really believe in it, but there seems to be empirical evidence to the
I
contrary.
don't believe in positivity.
Well, Shawn, it has been a real pleasure. So now that you're back in the game, we're going to have to bring you back.
Yeah, I'd love to.
And what you're finding and who you finally ended up in an arrangement with.
This weekend will be his. He's lining them all up like an air traffic controller, bringing them in.
No.
Like, oh, you should say talk, Lily. You do that.
I don't.
Runway 5 coming into land, next one.
Maybe I do.
Just to vet, right?
I've got some intel on that, actually. So she's asked me to pick her up from her apartment.
Okay.
She gave me her address, and it's the same address as where my ex-wife lives.
Oh, Pina Colada song.
Uh-oh. Yeah. All right. Well, on that note, Kevin, always a pleasure.
Thank you. Now you've got another guy here to talk to you.
Lily, thanks for joining us today.
Of course.
Hey, and if you want to share your crazy sugar dating stories or even have questions, go to our website, secretsofasugardaddy.com. Follow us on Instagram, the same name, Secrets of a Sugar Daddy. And be sure to give us a 5-star review and tell us and give us a little feedback about the show. All right, until next episode, bye-bye.
Thanks for joining us. If you'd like to connect or even be on the show, we'd love to hear from you at secretsofasugardaddy.com.
How would you describe yourself? Fun? Sporty? Bold? If that's the case, meet the Kia K4 hatchback. Made for motion, adventure, and whatever you might decide to bring along. Or would you say you're more smooth, sleek, refined? If so, there's the Kia K4 sedan. Calm, confident, and ever so modern. 2 personalities, 2 available turbocharged ways forward. The Kia K4 GT Line Turbo and the K4 Hatchback GT Line Turbo. What turbo's you? Turbo is available on select K4 trims.